Hello everyone, welcome to How to Electronics. Sometimes when you repair some electronics hardware and do some research and development work, you need an oscilloscope. You can use multimeters as well, but the problem with multimeter is that they aren't fast enough to detect the signal. These are the standard oscilloscope for lab applications, and when you go through the pricing, you will realize it is not affordable for beginners. If you are an electronics hobbyist or some technician, and if you are unable to buy these, then here is a solution for you. We can design an oscilloscope using a microcontroller at very low price, probably at $5 only. In this video, I will show you how you can make your own oscilloscope using the Raspberry Pi Pico and your smartphone. Yes, you heard it right. A simple oscilloscope using Raspberry Pi Pico and some electronics components can be made. And to detect the square wave or sine wave, you can feed the signal to your mobile phone. There is an app called ScopePi, which is particularly designed for this application. You can detect the signal up to a frequency of 250 kHz. So, there is a lot to know and a lot to discuss. So, without wasting further more time, let's get started. This video is sponsored by Altium. Altium Designer is the world's most trusted PCB design system for the last 35 years. Using Altium Designer, you can create a schematic, create PCB, generate Gerber files, and also make a bill of materials. You can create PCB design with an intuitive and powerful interface that connects you to the every aspect of electronics design process. If you want to get started with a free trial, click on the first link in the description. Welcome back again. This is a Raspberry Pi Pico designed by the Raspberry Pi Foundation. It has an RP2040 microcontroller that features a dual-core Arm Cortex-M0 processor with 260 KB internal RAM and support up to 16 MB of off-chip flash. It has a wide range of flexible input-output options including I2C, SPI, and uniquely programmable input-output ports. At the back of this board, you can see GP26 and GP27, which are the analog pins. We'll use this pin to detect the signal, as any signal feed from outside should be in the form of sine, square, or any analog signal. Alright, to visualize the signal, we need an application. Go to your Play Store and search for an app called ScopePi. This app is designed for our application. Click on Install to install it. Once installation is done, open the app. So here is the interface that you can see. The screen looks similar to that of oscilloscope. On the right bottom, there is an option to select the input signal. So the input signal can be fed by a USB port, which I will show later. But for demonstration, the app developer has given a demo signal here. The demo signal is in the form of sine wave. The signal has a frequency of 50 Hz. You can slide left and right and see the signal performance. On the right side, the horizontal and vertical adjustment are available. The trigger option is also there for looking up the signal. You can select off, auto, and normal mode under the trigger function. From here, time per division can be manually adjusted. Similarly, you can also adjust the volt per division functionality. To learn more about the functionality, you can manually verify all other functions. This oscilloscope is a dual channel oscilloscope where multiple signals can be read. Each of the channels can be turned on and off, and measuring parameters can be adjusted. For the demo signal, you can see both the channel 1 and channel 2 signals. But if you switch the mode to USB, you will only get one channel. To use the second channel, you need to upgrade to the premium version. According to me, the app is so good that you can pay an extra amount to get another channel too. Anyway, we'll be only using single channel for testing our application. Now to design an oscilloscope using Pi Pico, you need to visit this GitHub link. This repository contains all the information of an app called ScopePi. The app has been fully developed, but still there are some non-bugs that need to be fixed. But for our application, all the working option is available. This app only works with the smartphone with Android version of Marshmallow or above. The device should also support OTG features. If your smartphone is not supporting OTG, you can't use this. To install the firmware, you need to download this file. This file has a UF2 extension and the firmware installation process is same as the bootloader process. Now download this file and copy it to your desktop. Insert the USB cable into your computer and on the other end, press the boot shell button on Pi Pico and insert the micro USB cable. A file will open on your computer as Pi Pico will appear as a storage device. Now drag and drop the file inside the Pi Pico folder. The firmware has been loaded successfully. Now how to fed a signal on Pi Pico? So for this we'll use a very high value register called 100K register and connect it to the GP26 pin. This will protect the Pico from overcurrent and won't allow the Pico to get damaged. Similarly, we need a pair of 1K registers. One register should be connected to the ground pin and another to the 3V3 pin. Then join other end of the register together. We are doing this because we need to measure both the negative and positive signal. Here is an schematic for this. We will feed the signal from function generator to GP26 pin via 100K register. And the other pin is the virtual ground pin. While supplying an input signal, these both pins should be used. For easy access, I used a breadboard and connected a register shown here. This will work as a virtual ground for both negative and positive signal, and this pin will work as V-in pin for input signal. The LED will continuously blink on and off, indicating the firmware is being loaded fine. We need the OTG device to connect the Pi Pico to smartphone. This OTG is easily available in the market. Connect the USB cable to the Pi Pico and connect the other end of the OTG adapter. Now insert the OTG port in your smartphone. On your smartphone, you will see a pop-up window appearing. It will ask to allow ScopePi to access the Pico. So click on OK. When you are auto-triggering, a random signal will appear as shown in the screen here. We need a function generator here to test the oscilloscope, but I don't have a function generator. So I designed a signal generator using Arduino and a rotary encoder. Using this function generator, I can generate a square wave with variable frequency. I won't explain this function generator as now, as I'll be making a dedicated video for this function generator. To use this function generator, connect the output to the Pi Pico input. Use the virtual ground and also the V-in pin. When the button is pressed, the frequency multiplication factor can be adjusted. This means frequency can be incremented or decreased by 1 to 1000 times. And to change the frequency, rotate the encoder. Now the frequency of 20 kHz is set and fed to Pico. So a clear square wave is generated here. And when you compare the frequency, it's almost the same. Increasing the frequency to 60 Hz, it gives 60 Hz signal. This is the 50 Hz signal. And this one is the 120 Hz signal, and faults can be observed on the screen. Now, after increasing the frequency to 200 Hz, the signal is still fine. This is 800 Hz frequency and waveform are still so clear. You can feed various signal in kilohertz as well. Even the 2.5 kHz frequency is fine. No distortion in the signal even up to 3 kHz. The frequency is very high now, that is like 14 kHz, that is 14 kHz. Still we are getting a square wave, but there is slight switching of the signal. You can measure the frequency up to 250 kHz, as this is the standard sampling frequency of the Pi Pico. So Design your oscilloscope and observe the signal. Now the question is, the Pico can read only up to 3.3 volt. What if we want to measure anything above 3.3 volt? For example, if you want to measure 100 volt peak to peak volt signal, then how to use this? We have connected 100k resistor across the signal. The device won't get damaged by the high voltage, but it won't measure as sub signal will be chopped. For this, here is a standard circuit. If you want to read high voltage signal, which I want to recommend, here is a voltage divider network. This will break the signal into 3 samples. If you feed 100 volt here, you will get 100 volt at this point, and if you feed here, you will get a 10 volt, and if you feed here, you will get a 1 volt. This is a rotary switch that is easily available in market, and we are using a voltage divider network here. The maximum range is minus 1.65 volt to plus 1.65 volt. So it can measure only up to 3.3 volt input. For more details, visit our website. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching.